and welcome to day 16 here in the 24 days of helping you build more muscle and strength with calisthenics training. Today's 2 tips, we're looking at a quick and easy way to set up for greater success and safety in every exercise you ever do, and a simple programming trick to help you make sure that your workouts are effective for both building strength and muscle without compromising either objective. So this first tip is what I like to call my P.T.R strategy. P.T.R stands for position, tension, resistance. And this is a little bit of a lesson from classic weightlifting, where you wouldn't necessarily approach a barbell for a deadlift and just haphazardly walk up to it, grab it, and start lifting. No, of course, you'd first make sure you're in correct position with your feet and your back and your shoulders are packed. Then you would apply some resistance by taking some slack out of the bar. And then once you got all that set up, then you apply resistance by lifting the weight off the ground. And yet with calisthenics, we often kind of neglect this type of procedure because we're like, just drop and give me 20. We just drop down and just start doing exercise. And then it might be after several reps, we're like, oh, that's right, keep my elbows in. Oh, that's right, keep my back engaged, and so on. So taking just a moment before you do each set to say, all right, I'm gonna do push-ups. Let me make sure I'm in a good position, my good pelvic tilt, shoulders are protracted, over the hands, good. And then engaging the muscles, triceps are on, shoulders, chest, back. Okay, now everything's engaged. All right, now I can apply the resistance. Or you can do it from the ground and think, all right, position's good, apply tension, and then you apply resistance. It may not always be possible, like if you have to jump up to a pull-up bar or something, but taking just a second to make sure you get in good position, you engage the right muscles for tension, and then applying resistance will make every exercise you do safer and more effective in the long run. The second tip for today concerns programming for helping you to build both strength and endurance and stimulating a good degree of hypertrophy. Because if we look at the classic rep and intensity spectrum, on one side, we've got the lower rep range, higher levels of resistance, which are great for strength, but it's a lot harder to really push the muscles to a high degree of fatigue when you're working in sets of singles, doubles, even triples. But on the other end of the spectrum, you've got really great endurance. You can bring the muscle to a very high degree of fatigue, which can be potentially good for stimulating hypertrophy, but you're working with much lighter loads, which may not be the best for that absolute strength. And this is why most of the time, folks will probably find they can get the best of both worlds, kind of working in that middle ground, the 8 to 12 hypertrophy rep range. And that's fine, but average general approaches sometimes can leave us to a little bit wanting more of what we can get to the extremes. So what I recommend you give a shot is do both in the same workout. So start off with your strength training. And we do this in grind style calisthenics, where we'll start off with heavy exercises, single arm exercises, weighted exercises, 3 to 5 repetitions. And the key here is you want to stay away from high levels of fatigue. We're not working on building muscle just yet. We're working on improving strength, which is fundamentally a skill. So you get as many sets as you can until you start to feel like the fatigue is starting to mount and you're focusing on that strength range. But then once you start to notice you're fatiguing, then you shift more onto this end and you're going with lighter exercises, easier things that you can push to a high degree of fatigue, don't require nearly as much skill, and you can really push it right into the red zone as much as you can into failure, burning yourself out to a higher degree, therefore theoretically creating a much higher stimulus for hypertrophy. So instead of settling for that middle ground, you're getting the best of both worlds in the same workout. It's also a very satisfying way to work out, and it leaves you feeling like you've covered a lot more ground. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we got plenty more videos coming up on tips on building more muscle and strength with calisthenics. Videos here to catch you back up. Hit the likes, shares, and all the buttons down below if you find this stuff helpful, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit and live free.